The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. More countries have pledged aid amounting to some 200 million pesos for typhoon victims here in the Philippines. Ireland is pitching in with 250,000 euros or 14 million pesos for the purchase of essential goods and services. New Zealand also pledged about 17 million pesos for disaster relief efforts. South Korea is giving 100 million pesos in humanitarian assistance on top of 2.5 million pesos worth of in-kind donations. China will also provide 50 million pesos in emergency cash assistance to support communities ravaged by Typhoon Odette. And in Bohol, Governor Arthur Yap continues to ask for immediate relief assistance to prevent more instances of looting in the province. Jenny Dongon with the story.
5 days after Typhoon Odette hit Bohol, our news team and the relief operations group of the province were able to reach the island of Pandaon in Hinape. It is one of the most devastated areas in Bohol. From afar, residents are seen waving their hands, an apparent signal for help. We were able to talk to some of them, and they said it's a miracle that they survived Odette's wrath.
Yung anak ko, ginabalot ko na ng komot para hindi siya maano sa yero. Iyak na lang ako. Naghihingi na lang ako ng tulong ng Panginoon para hindi ko na alam kung anong gagawin ko. Hindi ko alam kung anong gagawin ko. Akala namin ito ng katapusan namin.
They had been hoping that assistance would reach their island since they have no means of traveling anywhere after Typhoon Odette destroyed all of their boats. Across Bohol, there are over 250,000 families affected. Governor Arthur Yap said they do not have enough funds and relief supplies for all of them. That's why he's calling on the Social Welfare Department to immediately do its part.
Nananawagan ako sa DSWD, please lang, yung sinasabi niyong ipapadala yung mga food packs, ipadala niyo na po ngayon. Magpapasko po. Maawa po tayo sa mga kababayan natin.
If the situation gets worse, Yap said the province would need additional security assistance. He says they have already received some reports of looting.
Kung hindi po, humihingi rin po ako ng tulong kay President Duterte. Padala niyo na lang po ako ng pulis, padala niyo po ako ng sundalo. Kasi po, meron na akong mga iilang mga reports na meron ng konting mga hindi magandang mga nangyayari sa some towns, especially sa northern Bohol.
As of Wednesday, the reported death toll in Bohol has already climbed to 98. Aside from scarce supplies of food and basic necessities, it's also uncertain when power will be restored to the province. For News 5, Jenny Dongon, we are One News.
Typhoon-hit areas are still dealing with fuel supply problems. In Siargao, prices have gone up to as much as 120 pesos per liter. Shaila Francisco with the report.
Residents continue to endure long lines at gasoline stations in Cebu City. And in some cases, their efforts are put to waste with limited stocks available, especially since some gasoline stations remain non-operational.
Sobrang hirap kasi ang time na nakukonsumo dito para maghintay, it's more than 2 hours, 3 hours to 5 hours. Then after 5 hours, pagdating mo dun sa pila, wala nang fuel. So babalik ka na naman kinabukasan.
This is also the situation in Bohol, where majority of the areas are still without electricity. The high demand is pushing fuel prices to double in areas affected by Typhoon Odette. On One News's agenda, Presidential Communications Operations Office Secretary Martin Andanar cited that a liter of gasoline in Siargao is sold up to 120 pesos.
Same with diesel, and the fare just to get away from Siargao to cross to the mainland of Mindanao, which is Caraga, yung pinakamalapit, itong Surigao del Norte at Surigao del Sur, would cost one person between 2,000 to about 10,000 pesos per head.
But the Energy Department assures the public that fuel supply is stable in the affected areas. In fact, oil companies are now working with the Philippine Coast Guard to ensure the delivery of additional fuel supply, with increased demand coming from trucks that will repair transmission lines and from hospitals to power their generator sets.
We also looked into the bulk facilities, no, like such as the depot. So we don't have any reason to worry as far as petroleum products availability is concerned. So no need to panic, no need to rush and hoard. No, don't do that because it will make our problems mas mahirap for your community.
The DOE says it expects all gas stations in affected areas to be operational by next week. The agency is also increasing inspectors in these areas to monitor price hike.
Where the challenge now is for the inspectors to be able really to document yung stations, specific stations na gumagawa ng ganyang quote unquote overpricing. At kasama po na nag-ooperate sa inspections ang ating CIDG. Dapat masunod yung price freeze, though limitado yung price act covering only household LPG and kerosene.
Meanwhile, areas affected by Typhoon Odette also suffer from limited supply of food and water, causing prices to increase.
Wala namang magagawa yung mga price control na yan. Kung mismo yung mga nagpapatupad, gutom din. To tell you frankly, nagsimula na po ang looting sa iba't ibang lugar, sa Siargao. Wala na pong pakundangan, wala na pong pakialam, Ed. Parang Yolanda, Ed.
Andanar says they are asking the armed forces to bring in its contingent in Siargao to prevent looting in the area. Shaila Francisco, BR1 News.
The Health Department recorded over 260 new COVID-19 infections today. This has brought the country's total caseload to 2,837,000, some 9,200 of which are still active. Over 120 new COVID-19 deaths were also reported overnight, bringing the death toll to 50,900. Meanwhile, total recoveries have climbed to 2,777,000, with nearly 400 new survivors logged in the last 24 hours. Out of the 29,500 tests conducted, less than 1% tested positive for the virus. Let's take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Health Department has approved a shorter interval period before the administration of booster shots. The DOH says those who receive their 2-dose vaccines may get boosters after 3 months, while those who receive the single-dose Janssen vaccine can get their boosters after 2 months. The department says that the threat of the Omicron variant prompted the decision to shorten the interval period between vaccine doses and boosters. The Agriculture Department has reported 2.2 billion pesos in damage and losses from Typhoon Odette. The DA said that about 34,000 farmers and fishermen from various regions in the Visayas and Mindanao were affected by the typhoon. And Pag-asa says that the low-pressure area they are watching has a 60 to 70% chance of developing into a tropical depression. The LPA is expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility by Sunday at the earliest. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.